Graph of y equals mx plus b. The graph of an equation of the form y equals mx plus b, where m and b are constants, is a line. Do remember we call this graph format slope-intercept format because we have a slope m and intercept b. So slope-intercept format. Examples of line equations. A, we have y equals 2x plus 3, b, y equals negative 3x minus 1, and c, y equals 5x, d, y equals 6. The question is, are they all in the form of y equals mx plus b? Are they all in the form of y equals mx plus b? Just by looking over them real quick, it seems like maybe not. Agreed? Looks like maybe not all of them are in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, let's find out though. And let's add on to this, that the graph also has a y-intercept of 0, b. This makes it more complete, so be aware of that. So, intercept, y-intercept, 0, b. So, once again, y equals mx plus b is our general format, and we call it slope-intercept form. Slope is your m value, and your y-intercept is the v value, which we typically answer as a complete, or write as a complete answer, in the form of 0, b. You automatically should always have a 0 for the x value. It's what makes it an intercept, the fact that your x value is 0. It's on the y-axis when you graph it. Okay, so y equals mx plus v is what we're looking for. A is the equation y equals 2x plus 3. I've separated just a little bit more, so it makes it easier to see. So now, do we know what the slope and the intercept are? Can we tell them from just looking at our graph? Yeah, we probably could, right? We definitely can, actually. So notice our slope is the m value. In other words, the number that's always next to your x, and it includes a sign if it has any. In this case, it's just a positive 2, so we don't show positive. So that means our slope is 2. So m equals 2. And the y-intercept, can we find that out without calculations? Definitely. If you have the full equation, you can see this y-intercept, or at least the v-value. The y-intercept, the x value, you should automatically know, right? Or keep in mind, try to memorize it. In the y-intercept, x is always 0. So that's why we have a 0 on our coordinate already. So 0, what is the value we're missing? 3. You got it. It's the v-value. 0, 3 is the full y-intercept. So is this in the form of y equals mx plus b? Yeah, because we have a slope and the y-intercept. So definitely, this one is in the form of y equals mx plus b. So let's go for the next one then. And let's rewrite it. That way it makes it easier to visualize. Y equals mx plus b right above it. B, y equals negative 3x minus 1. So our slope, m equals, and our y-intercept equals, what is our y-intercept and slope? Let's see, negative 3 in this case would be our slope, agreed? That's the number next to the x. So, slope, negative 3. And y-intercept? Well, the v-value is a negative 1 in this case. So, negative 1 is our y-intercept. Okay, let's go for the next one then. C. Once again, our equation, y equals mx plus b. So y equals 5x. Ooh, that doesn't look like it's in the form of y equals mx plus b, agreed? We're missing a v value. What would you put in place of v to make this still be a true statement? So we can say 5x plus something, and it would still be true. What would you add? Plus, well, what's our slope and what's our y-intercept? We can obviously tell that our slope is 5, right? It's the one next to the x. So therefore our slope is 5. But what is the y value of the y-intercept? Or the v value in this case? How about if we add 0? Well, 5x plus 0 is still 5x, agreed? Because this simplifies to just 5x. So definitely we can add 0, and that would give us the form of our intercept, 0. So it's definitely in the form of y equals mx plus b, because our slope is 5 and b value is 0. So there is our full slope of 5 and y-intercept 0, 0. Okay, let's go for D then. D. Once again, let's write our general formula, y equals mx plus b for reference. And let's write our statement in this case. Remember, we're looking for the slope and the intercept. But in this case, we have y equals 6. There's no x. Ooh, this one's tricky, right? Because there is no x. So I would assume maybe no. It's not in the form of y equals mx plus b. It's a little tricky for this one. How about if we try rewriting it just a little? Let's assume that 6 is that b. Agreed? What would you put in place of the mx? What's the only thing we can place in the location where mx is? Remember, x must be a variable, so we're going to put an x. X times what will give us nothing? Well, we can always multiply by 0, agreed? 0 times anything becomes 0, and we omit a 0. Okay, so 0 times x then. So 0x plus 6. Agreed? Okay, just for reference, let's rewrite it below, that way you can see it. Y equals 0x plus 6. And let's notice that it simplifies back down to y equals 6, right? 0 times x is still 0. 0 plus 6, 6. So y equals 6. It gives us what we originally started with, so it definitely works. Putting a 0 for the end value definitely works. So therefore, our slope in this case is 0. So our slope is 0. 0 times anything becomes 0. So that's why the x goes away, because it's multiplied by 0. So therefore, our y-intercept, or the v-value, is the 6. So is this in slope-intercept format? Yeah, we have a slope of 0, and the v-value is 6. So even though it says y equals 6, the mx goes away because it gets multiplied by 0. In other words, our slope is 0. Having just y equals 6 is in the form of y equals mx plus b.